So, hello and welcome to the Dr. Richard podcast, a show about health, well-being, fitness, and humanity. I'm Dr. Richard Marks. Today, I'm excited to welcome Mary and Romain. How are you
Hello.
guys?
Doing very well.
Amazing.
Thank
Feeling
you.
very healthy
Yeah.
here in Bali and have our batteries recharged now.
Been a few days of relaxing and then resting and then just trying to soak up the sun and then some rest and then that's been amazing.
Yeah, truly amazing.
Wonderful. I'm here with Mary and Romain from Selling Sunset, both in real estate and other projects, which we'll talk about later. So, as I said, I'm going to ask you about 3 things that make you smile. Would you like to do this together, or both of you do 3 things each?
I know already 2.
Oh, good. Let's do it.
So the first is by my wife.
Oh,
Obviously, good one.
Second one is my little dog,
oh,
my baby girl, Zelda.
Zelda.
She makes me
Aw.
smile.
Do you have just one dog?
No,
We have 2, but she's
you
like
guys see them on Selling Sunset.
Yeah.
Nico and Zelda. They're the 2 dogs
Wow.
on Selling Sunset. We share them
Oh,
with children.
gosh.
but yeah, Zelda raised her and then that's my little baby.
That's your dog.
Yeah.
Baby girl.
And yeah, she's such a little ball of energy and just she's so cute. So
Yeah, she's got a lot of personality.
yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
Love
So
that.
that's the second thing. And then the third things I would say what makes me smile, my work.
Yes.
Once you accomplish something that once something a project of us is done, and then you see the good reaction and then comments of everyone about it, always make you smile and then makes you proud of yourself and what you do.
Yeah, when you get that great result.
Feel like I nailed this one.
Well done. Yes. So, Mary?
Okay.
Gonna be hard to beat.
Well, okay. Obviously my
She's-
husband makes me smile, so I'm gonna move on from that. He's the number one, but I'm gonna have a different one so we don't have the same answers.
Great.
Let's see. Success, opportunities. Anytime something big comes up, or small or big, really. But if it's something, any sort of success or a business opportunity always makes me smile.
I want to say it sounds a little bit like my last answer, but in a different. I'm just
That's
saying,
how close you guys
Same
are.
answer.
Wait for my next one. Okay. I think watching acts of human kindness.
Yes.
Like where you're just like a bystander, or when I cry on movies all the time. So it's like a happy cry.
Yeah.
When you see people just being good to each other,
Yes.
it makes me so happy.
I agree with that.
It doesn't happen nearly as much as it should. And then
That's true.
no, that's 2.
Oh, because you don't count me as
And
one.
vacations.
Oh, that's a good
I
one.
smile a lot on vacation. I love traveling. Like I'm obsessed with it. If I didn't do real estate, I would want to do some sort of something traveling, like some travel blog or host some travel show or something like
We
that.
should create a new show on Netflix, reality TV show where they film us traveling the world.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Wouldn't
Well, it
that be a
shows,
good
I
gig?
think there's things that come from that, is that it's really important to take the time to rest and recharge. And as you said, the healing and the time together.
Even more, I think we appreciate even more because as you may know, we just bought a house. So this last
Wow.
month between moving, me fixing all the old place and then moving to the new one and then maybe organizing all the other stuff because I'm do the manual work part and she does all the other stuff. So it's just been draining.
Yeah.
We were probably doing like 18 hours a day like before we left and then
Wow.
but that was something we had in our head
And
saying
we were
like
finishing filming and normal work on top of it.
so we're just I think like keeping our hands down and then just like saying like we're gonna do that until Bali to try to get most of everything done. So like this we can recharge the batteries we here, which we did, and it fucking feel amazing.
Yeah.
And then
Brilliant.
that way when we come back, most of it is done, and then we can just like start it little by little, enjoying properly the
Stay
house.
in Zen mode when we
know.
get back and not feel like we're walking back into just like a pile of tasks that need to be done.
So was it a bit of a
For filming.
refurbishment project? It's a bit of a project, the house.
No,
Not that much,
really.
but it's just like a lot of things that we want to do personally, like,
Just to make
and
it
then
better, make it more like a
upgrading a
home.
little bit, and then we
Yeah.
building our fence all around
Yeah,
it. And
privacy
it's
gate
just
and
like
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of things that for us it's essential. It's not essential to live, but that's for us.
Just
It's
for
important
you
to do it.
guys, something
And it's a
important to
lot of
you
things,
guys.
when you move, you have to, figure out everything where to put it, and then,
buy new
organize everything,
furniture,
and then,
hang all the things on the walls, like fix
Absolutely.
put
certain
TV,
electrical.
drapes,
to-
all those little things that doesn't seem that much, but every day,
Yeah.
constantly, and then after work, and then for hours and hours, and you're
Yeah.
tired, and so you just keep accumulated, and then to a point that it was the best feeling ever to be able. We literally slept
for 2
for
days.
almost 48 hours the first 3 days of
Wow.
our holidays, like literally.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I think it's making a house a home and making it personal for you. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Yeah, and it's our first home together, so we want it to be
wow, that's
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah.
And the dogs.
And the dog,
the dogs love it.
Zelda and Nico.
Nico.
Nico,
Nico,
yes.
yeah.
So obviously, we know each other through Charlene, who's
Yeah.
amazing,
Yes.
and I wanted you to tell me about your time in Setting Sunset. How did that come about, and what did it involve? And obviously, Mary, you'd already been working with the Oppenheim group for some time. How long were you working with them, and were you always based in LA, or did you come from somewhere else in the US?
Yeah, LA, but not the same organization. So I was in the South Bay. I got my license in 2008,
Mm.
and terrible year to get your real estate license when the market crashed. But I got my license then, and sorry, I think
No trouble.
So I got my license and worked at a place called Shorewood Realtors, which
Uh-huh.
it was like the boutique brokerage down there in the South Bay, but it was like it was kind of like ours. It was like the biggest one, but it was like a couple different locations, but very small boutique kind of vibe. And so I worked there, had a great mentor, and it kind of started me on my real estate path. And then I moved to London in 2000, the end of 2010 or beginning of 2011, something like that. And then I came back, went to New York, and then once I came back to LA, that's when I started dating Jason, and I got back into real estate, but I had to basically start from scratch because it was a completely different area. I mean, I went from the beach to Hollywood Hills. And so
Wow.
the whole landscape is completely different. At the beach, it's like, okay, you're this far away from the beach, you're 2 blocks from the beach. This is how big your lot is. It's this price. Like, and the hill, it's like, well, which are you faced this way or this way? Are you like, are you on this side of the street or this side of the street? It's like, and everything's different. And so I had to learn all of that and build up my new clientele because it's a completely different area. So
Exactly.
I worked as a bartender and a personal assistant, and then while I was getting back into it and building up my clientele list, and just did every open house and went to every broker's open, and finally built myself up to where I am now.
At the
Wow.
top.
And now you're the vice president of the
Yeah,
Oppenheim Group.
yep.
Wow. Congratulations. Amazing achievement.
Thank you.
And how did you guys meet?
Work.
You
Work.
were there through work.
No, so when I came to the US,
It's actually from when I bartended.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, because
she met someone
who's French.
who was French when she was bartending, and then 2 years later, I was living in Sydney at the time, and I got an offer to come to work to LA. They were opening, so there was some French bosses that was from Miami that was opening a new spot in LA. So they asked me to come. So I came back to France, went to Miami, do a testing, everything got well, and then as I came back from Miami, they sent me a contact. They say, okay, so this is the agent. So the friend that she had that was French was friend with them. So when they knew, he put them in touch with her, and then they reached out to her and said, listen, we're gonna have like a few. At that point, I was a chef, so They say we have a few chefs that's coming to work for us. They're gonna be looking for a place. Would you mind to help them? So we start talking. I think it was in December, but my visa took like almost 6 months to get done. So we were talking for like about 6 months, and then after 6 months, I text her. I'm like, okay, I'm finally got to LA. I'm here, and she said, well, funny enough, I'm in France. I'm like, what? I'm like, 6 months we're waiting for me. And she said, don't worry, I'm coming back tomorrow. So she came back the next day. I came on Wednesday. She came on Thursday,
Yeah.
and we met on Friday.
Yeah. And yeah, so I just picked him up to show him around to places, and I had a boyfriend a few months before he came, and so I never even looked at his picture on WhatsApp. We were just texting back and forth. It was a work thing. I didn't even think to look at it. And then my ex and I broke up, and then he jumps in my car, and I was just like, oh my God. I was like, this is the same guy I've been talking to. I was like, this is insane. And so, but we just got along so well right from the start. It felt like we knew each other forever.
People actually, I think
They thought we were a couple.
the second apartment that we went to see for myself, they thought that it was for both of us. They say, no, I'm actually his agent.
They were like, oh, you guys seem like a couple. And we were like, no, we were just like hit it off like so quickly.
And then
started dating about a week later.
After you asked her out. No, what that was funny because I asked her out, and then
I still think I asked you.
No, why would you ask?
Maybe it was mutual.
Yeah, because I wanted.
No, I asked you to go get a drink, and you weren't even out the night before, and you were like you were like a shit face kind of.
Oh, I was hungover.
Yes. See?
What? You didn't have to say that.
Yes. Yeah, you did. You went hard.
Okay.
So, Romain, what was it like growing up in France? And obviously, you're interested in food and being a chef, and how.
Well, I was. I mean, I grew up in Paris. Like, it's not like. It's not the romantic story that everyone talk about it all the time. So there's some.
It was hard work.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, I grew up but yeah, there is some good and bad that came with, but I think that made who I am. And then, but when I was 14 or 15, I think my parents and and my sisters, no, one of my sisters, we moved to Bretagne, so it's the west side, because they were opening a business. So I was 14, I remember, because that's when I started working. So I was working with my dad after school every day. And I always been like super manual, and then always wanted to work and everything. So that's when I started working. And then as I finish the school after, usually we go to college. I mean, college for you guys, but for us, it's called the lycée. And I didn't want, and everyone was like, why you have like good, you're good in school and everything. I'm like, yeah, but I don't like to be sitting in the chair. Like I can't do that for 8 hours.
It's not for you.
Yeah, that's not for me. I need something active and everything. And so that's when I start actually going to school for pastry. And then I was working also on the side with my dad, and then constantly. So yeah, that's when I start. And then as I move on and then get my diploma and everything, that's something that I don't know why. Always something I wanted to travel. And then the day after I turned 18, I actually flew and moved to Norway. I was living in Oslo. Yeah, well, that's
completely different.
I was in the plane actually. I always remember that. I was in the plane. I'm like, wait a minute. I was all excited about going and everything, but I'm like, I don't even know to cook. I never did laundry. I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
I know.
That
is hard.
I literally booked my phone the night before because we partying with friends the night before I left. So my phone was dead. So there's no FaceTime, nothing. That was just a simple phone. So I had to call my mom what to buy for the laundry. And I mean, it was like it's so funny now. I'm laughing about it, but at the moment I wasn't talking much English. I was like, the laundry room wasn't working. I mean, it was just like, it was funny though. It's some.
I think it's a big shock looking after yourself when you first move out of home. I remember that as well. I was like, what do I do?
I was like, it's not like I move out of my place like to go like 10 miles away from my parents, right?
Yes.
I was like 5,000 kilometers away from my parents' place. So I'm like, I had no one. So I'm like, moving away. I don't know anything. I never had an apartment. I never had like, any bills. Like, I mean, I pay my bills, of my parents, but I was living on my parents. So that was a little bit different. So but I never had anything. And it just from one day to another, I decided to just like move across, like move away from the country and then start a new life with like everything was new at the same time, you know. The language was new, the place, having a place, an apartment, cooking, doing laundry, everything was like just so.
Yeah.
That was
I
a
really
little,
always wish that my parents did almost like a little bit of a course. Like, come on, this is how to do the washing, laundry. This is how to cook for yourself. This is how to
yeah.
do everything. Because
But see,
parents think they're being so nice by looking after you, but then what happens is
yeah, but would you
you don't
have
know
done
how
it?
to look after yourself. You know.
Or
Yeah.
would, but that's the things. At the end of the day, when you think about it, would I have done it if my mom was say, "Okay, I'll come. I'm gonna show you how to do the laundry before I leave." In my head, I wasn't leaving. So
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you come up to me and say, "Okay, come, I'm gonna show you to do the laundry," and mom, I have better things to do.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I
So
don't know if
throw you in at the deep end instead.
you know what I mean. I don't know if like many young people would have actually like, because now
You
that
have
we,
to struggle to be able
yeah,
to,
and
Yeah,
then
like,
you
yeah,
forget it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
when you
Then you
explain that to
learn.
your kids, you're like, yeah, I don't know if.
yeah.
So, Mary, I was going to talk a bit about you being a mother and a mother to Austin. Obviously, is he 24 now?
He's 26.
26. So,
Big boy.
but
Yeah.
how was it being a mother and having a career, and how did you do that and manage to juggle those things? And do you guys have a close relationship?
Yeah, yeah, we do. We do. It was very hard. I got pregnant when I was 15, had him when I was 16, and it was very difficult. My parents were obviously disappointed in me when I first told them I was pregnant. But they ended up helping like when I was in college, because I wanted to continue on to college, and they would help when it was only for school or for work, occasionally. But they were like, you did this, you need to take responsibility and
Wow.
be responsible for them. This is your decision, learn from it. And so, and it was the best thing they could have ever done. At the time I was like, God, you guys suck.
Yeah, that's hard. Hard love.
Yeah, but and then they would never watch him ever for me to go out with my friends or go have fun. They were like, sorry, that that
Wow,
that ship sailed. They're like, you
gosh.
can do that when if you can pay a babysitter and you have a job, you have this all taken care of. One day you'll be able to do it. It's not today. And so
It's a hard love.
oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, absolutely,
But
absolutely.
but they would help, like when I was doing clinical work for in at the university, and like at the hospital, my rotation started before the daycare opened, and I had to drive all the way down to Indianapolis, and it was like an hour away, and had to be there at 6:30, and they didn't open until 7. And so it like there was no possible way for me to do it, so my dad would pitch in and help me do it and take them for me. So there was a lot of things. I worked nonstop. To pay for college, pay for his childcare, and then so I would go for my normal education, then I would go do my clinical work, and then I would go just pick them up, take them to another sitter, pick them up, take them to another sitter, go sleep for 3 hours, go back, start the whole thing over again, and try to study in between, like on my lunch break or something like that. It was insane. I've got like scars all over me, walking and
Wow.
falling
Oh
asleep at the
gosh.
wheel. It
Oh
was
my
brutal.
God. One of
Absolutely
my
brutal.
sisters, actually, one of my sisters, she also had her children very young. And it always inspired me how she kind of built her career. And she did it in a kind of different way. She did some education, and
Uh-huh.
then she had her kids, and then she started having career. She's actually a dental hygienist, so she's in the
Oh
dental
yeah.
industry. So we sometimes work together, but then she, did extra education, and now she teaches as well. And,
Oh
it's really
nice.
inspiring how she managed to, be a mother
Yeah,
and raise two incredible children and have a career.
absolutely.
So I think
Yeah,
it's
it is hard, and doing it as a single mom makes it that much harder.
exactly.
And then things change along the way. Like I didn't end up obviously doing what I went to college for. And you just grow and you figure out what you can do, and what you want to do. So I think that having a child at a young age doesn't have to stop you.
Exactly.
But
And
you
I think one
definitely have
thing that
to
obviously
like start.
unites both of you guys is that you are really hardworking and obviously your career focused. So, Romain, tell me a
think
little
that
bit
helps a
more.
lot.
Exactly. Romain, tell me a bit about your projects, because you have your property projects
Yeah,
that
so
you
I'm
work
a
on.
project manager, and yeah, it did help a lot also for both of us, because even I think she was feeling bad, and at first, because she was working so much after when I was coming back from work, and she was like, "I'm sorry," and I'm like, "No," I'm like, "Do your things," because I actually love the fact to see you so hard worker, you know. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I think for many times there's things that help us and slide for us, because we know what comes first in some, we both come first for
Yeah.
each other, but we know, like,
But we respect each other's work
respect,
ethic. And so
exactly.
it's not like where a lot of times in relationships are like, oh, he's never home. Like he's always at work, and it comes between them.
Yeah.
And we're just
But
like,
we both the same, so
it'll be
it's
like
like
11 p.m. He's like, babe, I'm still at the house. I'm still doing this. Oh my God. He'll FaceTime me. He's like, sweetie. I was like, it's good. I'm sorry. Or how early do you have to go in tomorrow? Like there's nothing about like why he's not there eating dinner with me or something. It's like, I'm good.
yeah, there's no
Do you
much
need me to
shit,
Uber you some dinner, or we're like, what do you want? It's just we just really respect that in each other, and we know we'll get like now we get time together, but
we love
sometimes we're
to
just
try to do some little getaway to
Yeah.
actually get to spend some time, because we don't.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but my
it's similar to me. My partner is a dancer and has their own career, and I
Yeah.
think if you both have hard-working careers, it makes you really admire each other and respect each other,
Yeah.
That's
you
exactly
know,
what it
and
is. Yeah,
it
I
puts you
love
on the same
people like
page.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's a really amazing thing, and you share
Yeah.
those things together.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted to talk about kind of challenges that you might have faced, in your life. And Mary, I was mentioning a little bit that one of your previous partners had kind of passed away. So how did you deal with that? And how did you
Well,
keep going?
so I don't go into detail a lot about it. But he was an amazing, amazing guy. Just he one of the most selfless people I've ever met, very successful. He had some health issues, and we ended up splitting right before a couple years. I can't even remember what the timeline was now. We split before he passed away. We still remain close friends, but because my son was like brothers with his two sons, and so we kept a relationship with the kids, and I guess I'm not going to say too much more about
Of course.
how he died or anything like that, but yeah, he just had some health issues, and it was just really sad. He was an amazing person, and
You just had to lot to deal with.
It was a hard
yeah.
time, yeah. And what I
Yeah,
wanted to
I mean,
talk
sometimes I can talk about it without crying, like right
Of
now, and other
course, and
times I'm like,
sometimes it really hits hard,
there's
yeah,
some things
yeah.
that like I still have a lot of regrets about it, about how but
Well, it's amazing what you guys have, managed to achieve, and how, and obviously how you support each other. So one thing I want to talk about is kind of health and wellness and nutrition, and, how those things can help you deal with a busy career, but also how important it is to your life. So obviously, Romain, very important for you, and both of you.
Never go to the gym. Yeah, I feel like it's well, it was in some way also a little bit my job before, like less now because it just become an habit. So, but also I started also because of the modeling and stuff like that. But it just it always been like kind of, I feel like, my therapy, and then it just like it makes you feel good. And I, every single time I go there, and then you lift weight and then everything, I feel like you release so much and you feel so good after. But just about yourself, when you just worked out and then you work out, after you work out, and you breathe, the air and everything, it just feels such a good feeling that, yeah, nah, it's like almost I cannot, like, I even sometimes get mad with my partner that I work with because he asked me to stop, because I usually go now in the morning. So when I have to pick up some stuff in the morning and everything, I can't go to the gym. I tell you sometimes get mad. He said, you're getting aggressive sometimes because I'm asking you to walk and I'm paying you for. I'm like, I know, but it doesn't matter. It just, I don't know. It's just such a good feeling that you have once you work out and your health and everything. And I
Yeah.
just,
I normally do. I haven't been very good about actually getting into the gym for a couple years now. I always something always happens
You look
and I'm
great
like,
though.
oh,
everyone,
well,
everyone asks me, what does your wife do to get it? I'm like, you really want to know? Because you might be disappointed. I don't know.
The
well,
thing is, I
actually
think
am now. I am since we've been here. I always know I go through phases, but and I was doing my infrared hot sauna. So that for me was like where I just felt like I was going into a cocoon, and I'd go in there. That's my peaceful place. I would just sweat everything out and listen to music or like be on my phone, and I just felt like that was like my getaway, and it was very healthy with the light therapy. It had like the light therapy in there too and everything, and so I would do that. But then once we got here, I like in 2023, I'm like, okay, I always say I'm gonna start working out, and everyone laughs at me, but they're like, yeah, right.
well, the thing
And
is, I think, because your
I feel
job is so
amazing.
busy, in a way, like you're always moving around and,
Yeah.
it's like people don't realize how much that can actually add to
Oh,
your.
Yeah,
and
and
all
then
the
the
stairs
stress.
that from and all those houses
Exactly.
going up and down all the stairs in those houses. I mean, we get a lot of physical
And she has a
activity.
lot of stress
Yeah.
and then she has and thank God for her, she has an amazing fast metabolism. So and she
Yes.
doesn't eat
That is
anyway.
just pure lucky.
Yeah. And
Well, I eat pretty healthy
she
too.
doesn't eat much and
Yeah.
she's super healthy all the time.
Yeah.
Like she loves veggies and everything. So
Yeah.
it just the whole package for her works.
Yeah.
But
Well,
she
I think that's
decides in
important as
2023,
well.
I know he's my trainer
she
now.
decided to do Body by Romain.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna do before and after because I have gained a little bit of weight, and so I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not liking this. I'm like, I'm 42 now, and I'm like, dang it, I can't get away with it anymore, can I? So yeah, I'm
So we're
gonna
starting to train like
yeah.
a little bit by together. So
Yeah, and it gives us more time together where
Yes, exactly.
this and it's healthy for us instead of what laying down and cuddling watching a movie. This is something
which
what
is
we
good
can
too. Which is
it is good.
too.
Yes,
It
we
is,
love
it
doing
is.
that. But yeah, it's healthy for us. So
No, and it's fun, and I like because it's also in some way my passion, and so I love to go with my boy because we're pushing each other and everything. But I like to, even though if I don't train, because most of the time I do some different exercise and I want to make sure to take care of her. So I just train her by herself, and then the last few days that's basically what we've done. And it's just fun to be able to share, and then to spend some time together, and then also to you know try to get the goals that she wants to get done, and then be able to spend time together and share in some time what I love to do.
And are you pushing her hard?
Uh-huh.
I also push myself hard. He does push me hard, but yeah, I kind of push myself hard too.
Of course.
I'm just starting cool because I don't want to be too hard, and then
No,
after
no.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
I'm like,
Exactly.
I can do more. I can do more. Like,
eventually
but give me more weight.
You've got to kind of
All
progress. I
right.
think you've got to progress it up,
Yeah.
it's like when I started training with Jason.
Yeah.
Remember where Jason was when we were doing the same way?
Oh yeah.
Because when I came to the US, actually, I started training. After we just starting dating, and so Jason was like, he saw that I was a little bit buff, and he said, "Oh, I want to train with you." I'm like, "Okay." And so I went to the gym, and I told him, I'm like, "Well, I'm taking it cool because I haven't trained for like a month or months and a half, so I want to take it easy." And so for like a week or two, I was training cool, and then he was going to see Mary, and it was, whoa, I'm pushing as much as your man. He's 3 times my size, and after 2 weeks, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna start pushing, and he was like, what do you mean? I'm like,
That was just a warm-up.
I was just warming up like for last week. So okay, and I start pushing like double or more. And he was like, what the hell is happening? He said, okay, no, I'm not playing with you. That was funny.
Yeah, I'm sure. And he's used to being in charge. So
Yeah,
it's turning it the other way
not
around.
He told me, both Jason and Brett actually told me that I got them in the best shape that they ever been,
Oh,
and then
brilliant.
pushing more weight that they ever did when I was training them.
Amazing. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about kind of personal brand building and also your plans for the future. So what are your plans for the future? Obviously, you've got this new house and you're a power couple.
Yeah. We want to keep building our portfolio, our real estate portfolio.
This is one of the big things that we want to do. I think that's the main things because of our career path right now. Like doing like some flipping houses, like obviously the goal eventually is to keep them and just to rent them, but maybe at the beginning might be good also to just buy because of her as a real estate agent. I get the best real estate agent in the city
Ever.
and so I trust her because I don't know much. I mean, I know a little bit about the area and everything. Obviously, I'm constantly in it. So
yeah, it's just a good combination
I
with the
just
two
trust
of
her
us.
with doing all this part, and then
And
I'm
then-
sure she trusts me about doing all the renovation and everything. So that's the best combo that we can have.
Yeah, and then I guess we're kind of casually trying for a baby.
Casually, maybe a
Casually.
Bali baby. I
Maybe a
don't know.
Bali baby. Yeah.
I mean, that would be brilliant.
That and then we're maybe also about doing exactly what I just said. We're talking about maybe having a spin-off eventually.
Yeah,
That'd be great. So
Oh, that would be fantastic. We'd
Yeah.
love to see more of you guys.
thank you.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, you're gonna get to see
I'm
actually
writing
a
a
little bit
book.
more.
Wow.
Yeah, doing a book. What else?
Hopefully a spin-off for traveling.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd be.
It's just like such amazing how many things you guys pack in. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
doing a lot of speaking events too for women empowerment and
amazing.
real estate speaking, and then women empowerment and just like women in business, trying to motivate people. I've been getting involved in that.
Yeah. It just shows how, you can be focused and look, you said, you were bartending, you were being a personal assistant, and look at this,
I know.
So it's amazing, and it shows, if you've got belief and drive.
I'm doing too.
You know what? And even me until this then I keep telling her, when we like first starting dating and everything, the story she was telling me and everything, and she was just hustling for so little. And then sometimes it is in any way, she said that in a greedy way, but like now that she has smaller deal and everything, and she got to a point that she's so busy and successful that she has to be picky with what she picks, and when I hear that she pass on or give it to other agent that less experience but like smaller deal and everything, and it makes me laugh because I'm like, look, like 5 years ago when we started dealing, you were jumping on everything that you could do.
I would do an apartment lease.
Exactly.
And then now I'm like, you're like literally passing on something like some $2 million house.
Well, I wouldn't pass on 2 million, but I would pass on $1 million, unless it's like
but see, that's exactly the point. It's like 1, 2, whatever. The point is just to see that.
Unless it's a previous client.
Maybe we got it.
Wow.
My point is just like to see how amazing and how proud I am of her for being like 5 years from from then to see how.
Well, that's the overall message.
We're gonna have some issues to resolve after the podcast.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you from this amazing location. And we're really excited to see the upcoming Selling Sunset. When is the next one out?
Hopefully beginning of this year. I mean, beginning. That's the beginning. So in the next couple of months.
Probably season 6 should be
Definitely
coming
this
out.
year.
Yeah, this year for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Within probably
2-3 months.
probably
3 months.
3 to 4 months,
About-
probably.
Did you guys manage to get? Did you guys manage to get down to Newport Beach to see? Do you ever get down there
I
to
built
see?
the office, so
Yeah, he built it.
Oh
I
wow!
was spending my day every day over there.
Yeah.
I was so over.
Yeah,
So
and then
this is a long drive for us to
we
drive.
start filming. We start filming season 7 on January 10th.
Yeah.
So
Wow!
so we'll have it one day when we get back before.
It's
before we start.
amazing. It's already season 7, and
Yeah.
obviously, when you were first filming it, you had no probably
we were
idea
all
that it would be
hoping for it.
this so much. You know, it's such
No,
such
I
incredible.
know. We were like, what if we even got picked up again? And then once we got picked up, they were like, we know we made it. If you get past the 3 the 3 series or 3 seasons, then it's like you're successful. If we actually made it past number 3, then we're like, we have made it.
There's actually something that
And
came
then-
up
and then-
saying
and
that
then
there's
we did-
only 8 or 9 show in Netflix history that did more than 5 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I
We're
think
proud
you
to-
guys made it. You guys
Yeah.
officially made
Yeah.
it.
I
And,
know, it's insane.
and thank you so much for joining me. It's
Thank
so
you
great
for
to hear
having us.
about, your plans for the future, all the new exciting projects. I'm sure we're going to have to keep tuned in to, hear about all the new things coming up. Amazing
Yeah.
to hear about your new house.
Thank
you.
you.
With
We're
Nico
excited.
and Zelda.
Yeah. We're very
And-
excited.
Yeah, and I think you guys are really so inspirational, the way that you've managed to have these incredible careers working together in a really nice way, and supporting each other and just driving each other's goals forward. So it's absolutely
I
amazing.
think that's
Thank
also
Thank you.
the goal for everyone, to be able to support your partner, and then on their goals, and them doing the same for you, and
Yeah.
that's what makes us successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Mary as well, the women empowerment, and that's really incredible. Your story and your journey
Thank
is
you.
absolutely
Thank you.
amazing. So only
Thank
better things to come.
Thank you.
Thank you so
We
much.
hope so.
Well, have an amazing rest of the time in Bali, and
Thank you so much.
have a good journey back to LA.
Thank
And for all the socials will be in the show notes. And thank you for listening to today's show. Please rate and review wherever you get your podcasts. It was presented by me, Dr. Richard Marks. For more about me, I'm on at Dr._Richard _, or visit my website, www.drrichardlondon.com. This is a Pod People production. It was recorded normally at Spiritland Studios, but by video link to Bali. And the music is by Delhi Music, and we will see you next time.